Main MLB Slate. I am your host, the coach, Philip Kraft. We've got a 9-game main slate tonight, and we're going to get to my top stacks for the night first. Coming in in the first slot, we've got the Twins. They're in a nice spot tonight again. Then we've got the Angels, the Red Sox, the Rockies, and yes, I know the Rockies are on the road. They usually don't do as well on the road. They did great last night. I expect them to do well again tonight. They've got a great matchup. And then once again, for 2 nights in a row, my favorite stack is the Dodgers. Stack them up. They did not disappoint last night. I expect them to keep rolling. So I'll be loading up on the Dodgers again tonight. For my pitchers, I'm looking at the great and powerful Clayton Kershaw. DraftKings price coming in at $10,500 and $10,600 on FanDuel. So he's not cheap, but it's doable. I've seen him much higher. I will be playing some Clayton Kershaw tonight. Then I'm looking at Jake Odorizzi's. He is expensive on DraftKings at $10,100, but much more of a value play on FanDuel at $8,100. I don't mind using him on either site, but definitely considering him on FanDuel as my pitcher. Since you can only play one pitcher on FanDuel, I would probably be leaning more to Odorizzi than Kershaw. However, I think Kershaw does have more upside. But for the price on FanDuel, you can load up on some bats that would more than make up for the price difference. Now we've got our value play at pitcher, and that's coming in with Patrick Sandoval. He is only 6,900 on DraftKings, but he is only 5,600 on FanDuel. Now, here's what I like about Sandoval. He's facing a Texas team that now plays in a dome at home. So it's not the open stadium that they've had in the past where the balls just fly out of the park. It's a little different atmosphere now. Now, Texas strikes out a whopping 28% of the time. And Sandoval himself has a strikeout rate of nearly 25%. I can see him getting several strikeouts against these Texas Rangers. He's a good value play if you want to use him as your SP2 on DraftKings. Go for it. I think tonight you could also make a case for getting Kershaw and Odorizzi in the same lineup. But if you don't want to do that, I would suggest pairing one of those guys up with Sandoval. All right, for the hitters tonight, and they are in no particular order. First guy up, Charlie Blackmon, Outfield, Rockies. Yes, I'm aware that it's lefty versus lefty. If it wasn't for that, he would be my dinger of the night. But get this, his batter versus pitcher stats are incredible tonight. He only has 8 at-bats against this pitcher. But out of those 8, he has 5 hits, 3 home runs, and 6 RBIs. The odds are definitely in Blackmon's favor tonight. He's priced pretty high on DraftKings at $5,000, but he's only $3,800 on FanDuel. Sign me up for some Charlie Blackmon tonight. Next, we've got Christian Yelich, Outfield, 5,200 on DraftKings and 4,100 on FanDuel. Sign me up for some Yelich tonight. He's one of those guys you can pretty much play every night, and most of the time he's going to get you some points. I would not be surprised if he gets you a dinger tonight. So fire him up. Now we got the mighty Mike Trout, Outfield. I know. It's too obvious to pick Mike Trout. But I feel if I don't mention him, people are going to overlook him. There's very few times that Trout would actually be a fade. So he may be the safest play on the board day in and day out. However, he always carries a hefty price tag. So if you want to get Kershaw and Odorizzi as your two pitchers on DraftKings, you will likely not be able to fit Trout into your lineup. Trout comes in at the high price of $6,000 on DraftKings and $4,600 on FanDuel. So he is expensive. There are other paths of winning tonight without Mike Trout, but don't be surprised if Dude goes off. What was it? 3 nights ago that he hit 2 home runs in one game. The dude's unbelievable. If you can fit him in, fit him in. Next, we're going to Cody Bellinger, outfield. He was one of my top picks last night, and he's somewhat disappointed. He did get me points, but it was not as many as I was expecting. So it wasn't a bust, but I was expecting over 15 points. But tonight's a new night. I'm predicting over 15 DraftKings points for Bellinger tonight. He is 4,900 on DraftKings and 4,300 on FanDuel. My value hitter for tonight is Matt Davidson, who is first base and third base eligible on DraftKings and first base eligible on FanDuel. He is only, and I repeat, only 2,500 on DraftKings and even less than that on FanDuel at 2,100. So he is near the bare minimum, and he looks to be a great play tonight. Make sure he is in the lineup, but if he is, fire him up because that is going to save you some money where you can load up on some more expensive guys. And my favorite pick of the show, my dinger for the night, goes to Miguel Sano, first base for the Twins. His price on DraftKings is $5,000, but he comes in at a steal on FanDuel at $3,200. So you heard it here first, folks. Miguel Sano will hit a home run tonight. So far, last night's pick of Justin Turner to hit a dinger has been the only one I've gotten wrong here on this show. So I hope to keep my winning streak alive on dingers, except for last night. But I'm in the plus, so I'm going and rolling with Miguel Sano as my dinger of the night. Thank you for watching Coach's Top Hitters, Dingers, Slingers, and Stacks. Stay tuned for NASCAR Part 2. If you have not already watched the NASCAR show for today's race, starting a little after 4 o'clock this afternoon Eastern Time, go look for our NASCAR video. We have a complete driver breakdown, complete with a cheat sheet. And then tomorrow is a double header because the Cup guys are back at it again at Michigan Super Speedway. The cheat sheet will change a little bit. I'll have another show before tomorrow's race for NASCAR. So check it out. Like us on Twitter at DFS Fantasy, the number 4 cast. That is at DFS Fantasy, number 4 cast. And please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button right there for YouTube and like the video. That helps me out and helps me keep going with all these videos, and I can keep doing more and more. Thank you. Stay safe and stay cashing.